What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an all-new Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 as our French Empire. So right now we're on the 20th of July, 1940, and my primary goal is to basically prep for an invasion of Sicily. This is going to be incredibly difficult, but in the last episode we've gone ahead and we have basically changed up the composition of all of our Marines. So originally this was a level, so there were 4 Marines inside the division, we had 0 support companies, and so what we did is we added 2 additional Marines, we added 3 units of artillery, and we added all of the best support equipment. So as you can see, these guys are now a massive landing force. And so, but sadly, we are going to be invading. I was thinking about invading into the mountains. Horrible idea, but and there is a coastal fort here. So I guess what we're gonna do is try our best to go ahead and land inside. I don't know what this is called. Does it tell me? Obviously it's Sicily, but I want to know what this province is called. Well, anyway, so what we're gonna do is land with our Marines, and because there's a port here, if I could somehow manage to build myself some additional light tanks or medium tanks, I am then going to go ahead, try to march into the mountains, but then also roam around the island. Now, if I could somehow cut off all of the resources to all of these units, I could basically secure the island and then build up a coastal fort of my own, so then I never really need to worry about protecting Sicily, because it's always going to be mine. Now, that does seem like an incredibly challenging plan. I think it's going to work out, but we definitely are going to need some tanks before we can make that happen. Taking a quick glance at our research, in about 12 days, we're finally going to be able to use all of this air experience. And we are slowly losing a heck of a lot of manpower. So this is actually incredibly bad. Our air focus has been unlocked. So let's go ahead and start working on a fighter focus. So we're going to get 50% research off of our next fighter, which sadly enough is not going to happen until 1944. It's just the way that we decided to build up our economy. And we probably could have done things a little bit differently, but I would have to say we are definitely doing much better than historical France. And I'm really happy to finally see all of this new air experience. And I believe we are currently missing tungsten. Yes, we are. I forgot to go ahead and import more. So what I'm going to do is I am going to be buying about 3 additional boatloads or convoy loads of tungsten. And speaking of convoys, I'm probably going to want to go ahead and build 3 of those. So the idea, well, maybe not. Yeah, let's build 2. And so the idea is you are going to need convoys for doing things like naval invasions and for doing things like trading. Now, it looks like a battleship has already been built. No, I was mistaken. So I guess we just started building this battleship, even though we queued it up in 1936. But, you know, obviously we have 8 dockyards, and it is going to take an incredibly long time to build up our, you know, naval power. So as you can see, having a better economy, you know, could eventually help things like build up our dockyards. But now what we're going to do is finally improve our Air Force. We're going from a Fighter 1 to a Fighter 2, and now, it takes a lot more oil. We're going to go ahead and create a variant using all of our air experience. So what I want to do is go up to Reliability 4 and Range 4, and we're also going to be improving the Agility by 2. So we have more range, more speed, and more... Excuse me. We have more range, which loses reliability, so we had to improve that. And now we have more agility, which makes us easier to hit another plane, and it's basically harder for us to get struck down. So now I'm going to decommission the old Fighter 2, and we're going to start working on the Fighter 2A. And just like that, we are still missing oil, so let's go ahead and import more from the United States. We have 48, and we're now going to take 56. So as you can see, a lot of civilian factories are being used for trade, which is really not good. So one of my next priorities is probably to start researching excavation. It's going to take 154 days, but if I could somehow squeeze out 10% more resources per excavation, I mean, we're looking at a surplus of 30%, if I could ever click the right tab, a 30% resource efficiency gain through all of these, so that is nice to see. And I can also go ahead and change up my, economy laws, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that yet. Hungary joins the Axis as I was expecting. And they've definitely gained some territory. They gained all of southern Slovakia, and they have gained all of northern Transylvania, so their country is growing far more powerful. Okay, so we have some military factories, and we are still trying... Yeah, see, we are losing our economy. We used to have about 3 to 4 lines of productions, but right now we only have about 2. So that's definitely not good. I need to go ahead and secure more civilian factories. I'm not really sure the best way to go about that. Okay, I'm looking around. We have 105 political power. I would absolutely like to improve our Air Force when I can, but I'm happy that I guess every day we're getting 0.6 fighters, which is not a lot, but they are definitely going to be incredibly powerful. If I could somehow start building up our radar dishes, this would definitely be a heck of a lot easier. We have the assassination of Leon Trotsky. I believe this was in Mexico. Mexico City Hospital. Barbaric. He was the socialist that was trying to go ahead and overthrow Stalin's communism. Sadly, didn't, did not work for him. Okay, so we're still exercising in a lot of different areas. Wow, I absolutely forgot to stop exercising this purple group. But the idea is we are now going to be digging on into this front line, and I'm wondering if I should build level 2 forts. In fact, I probably should, because then we're going to have some better defenses. In fact, I should probably build a level 3 fort, but I don't think my economy is really that good just yet. Okay, so our light tanks are in production. I feel like I could also go ahead and break down a lot of other things that we don't really need. And the reason why I say that is we definitely don't need this much artillery or anti-tank, and we probably don't need this many motorized. So we could probably go ahead and change up a lot of our production. As you can see, our economy is getting weaker and weaker, and I'm not really looking forward to, this transition. But, you know what? We always could conquer more. If I could somehow take Sicily, we would never need to worry about... I have no idea what's in Sicily, but I bet there's a lot of civilian factories that I could conquer for myself. And then not only does that mean Italy loses some resource production... and unit production, but then we would gain it, so that would be phenomenal. Okay, so let's look at our research. 14 days until we have our medium tanks, and 52 days until we have better close air support. Wow, Sweden has capitulated. That is not good. So all of these resources are now going to be flowing on into the German Reich's empire. I have no idea what to expect. I hope the USSR and the German Reich are eventually going to slug it on out. I don't plan on really invading the German Reich anytime soon. I feel like our best option is to take Sicily and then obviously start attacking nationalist Spain. Legionary Bulgaria has joined the Axis, so now we have Hungary. Basically, all of these nations are in the Axis. Oh my goodness. World War II has certainly come about. I have really no idea what to expect. And it looks like there was a white peace between Finland. Karjala is now part of the USSR, and I believe this in very, very small province of Sala and Petsamo are now part of the USSR. I could be mistaken, but obviously Karjala probably had a dockyard or two, and it looks like there are some land forts as well. All Sweden has left is Gotland. Oh, it looks like we have 150 political power, so let's go ahead and hire the light aircraft designer. So all of our fighters are now going to be getting more agility. I hope we change those now. Yeah, that actually makes me sad. Because we researched this before we got the change, we're not going to see it in 1940, so we're only going to see it in 1944. Oh, I'm sad. I am so sad. So there goes my agility, and there goes everything else. And same thing with my tank designer. Well, actually, no, we did get tanks. Yep, more armor and more heart attack. So now that we have medium tanks, let's go ahead and switch those on out. We are now going to need a lot more tungsten, which we do not have, which means I guess we're going to be buying it from the US. Our research slots are available. In 1941, we're going to be researching another medium tank. In fact, we're going to be doing a lot of things. But I'm looking around, we should probably start getting interwar artillery. So now all of our artillery does more damage, which would be nice to see. Okay, this is basically where we stand. Fighter focus has been unlocked. We are now going to start working on cheaper air doctrines. But my biggest issue is I don't seem to have enough research. I want to do so much at once, but sadly I just don't have that capability. My next priority is to just build up as many medium tanks as I possibly can, which I only have 6 lines of those. So it is going to take some time. We have more free civilian factories. Did we ever get level 2 forts? Yeah, let's get level 3 forts. I get this is going to be more expensive, but I think it absolutely needs to happen. I think we're also going to want about 3 naval dockyards. Let's build 4 just in case. So now we can have convoys, and now we can get faster production for battleships if those ever do come about. And now we're going to get more medium military factories so we can get more medium tanks. And this is our economy. And the sad part is, the more dockyards and military factories we produce, the less civilian factories that we'll have available. Okay, I am looking around the map here. We finally have excess motorized. We have excess everything. But eventually, I think what I want to do is one final thing. We are going to take a glance at our infantry. I am going to throw in more infantry units, infantry units, infantry units. We're going to actually switch this over to artillery and then throw in the anti-tank. So this is going to be our final push for all of our infantry. I don't plan on building any more of it. I also want to go ahead and re-maneuver these. So we're going to throw in an anti-tank, artillery, artillery. I don't really plan on ever improving those. And then I'm looking at these. Let's go ahead and throw in an engineering company, at least for now. And our marines are good to go, but where's my motorized? Oh, way up here. For some reason, we do not have engineering companies, so we need to throw in recon companies, maintenance companies, logistics companies, and signal companies. Do we have enough? Yes, we do. So there went all of my army experience and probably all of my support equipment. No, I still have 903, which is incredibly odd. But I also want to look out. I no longer have enough artillery, which is absolutely fine. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove 5 of these anti-tank, and I'm going to remove 3 of these artillery. So that means all of those military factories are going to be thrown on into our medium tank production. And of course, now we need more oil. So the idea is I'm hoping these are definitely going to be more and more useful as time goes on. We're making about 5 artillery a day. I probably should build level 2 artillery, but we are definitely a ways away from that as well. Okay, Ethiopia is now ours, or at least part of the Allies, so all 6 of these purple units are now going to go ahead and swarm on back to Tunisia, where in fact I think your next priority is actually to go into Northern Africa. So we're going to go ahead and make everybody head on over back to Tunisia and Algeria. It is going to take some time. We'll probably exercise you as well. What are we lacking? So just artillery. I understand we're missing some carrier fighters and some naval bombers, and that's absolutely fine. I would like to go ahead and start throwing out. So how many units are here? 400 active fighters. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw in about 200 more fighters into the English Channel. We're going to be accumulating a lot more air experience. I think we're going to take out a lot of different units. But if I could somehow start researching radar dishes, I mean, things would go a heck of a lot easier. But remember, 1941 is going to be a big year. We are going to be getting a lot more, industry. We're going to be getting a lot of, we are going to be getting a lot of things. I believe, the reason why I said 1941 is a big year, I was like, what the heck am I missing? Obviously, the medium tanks are what we're definitely going to need. Alright, send volunteers from the US. I'm actually going to decline. I don't want any volunteers, but I will gladly take additional resources. Alright, our close air support is now going to be ranked up. Let's go ahead and also improve the close air support. So I want to give you a little bit more reliability, a little bit more range, some better engine speed, and just like that, we are definitely good to go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till about 500 air experience. And I am going to put all of this air experience, not into my close air support, but into my fighters. And I feel like we're definitely going to be having a lot more bonuses. I'm wondering what this tab means. I'm guessing it means volunteers.
Attention.
But this teal group is done exercising, so you're going to go back and join the purple group. And all of you are going... Wow, you still need to exercise. But I guess it's because we just gained a lot of new units and artillery and stuff like that. But now we are moving into 1940. We have our fighters. We have our close air support. I feel like our next goal... Having signal companies would be incredibly useful. But then again, having more attack for all of our infantry would be awesome as well. Let's go ahead and start researching Excavation 2. So then we can finally get some resources under our belt. All of our forts are being produced. Eventually we're going to get those convoys, and then finally we're going to get better battleship production. I just wish I had a healthier economy, and I just don't. Some of our motorized are finally reaching on up to where they need to be.
Attention.
And I would say that our war is going well. Obviously, the United Kingdom is doing most of the fighting, but we have not really retreated. I'm hoping that the United States will come to our aid. But, you know, it's funny. If I was the U.S., the number one thing they can do is basically sell goods and services to France and the United Kingdom, and they would exponentially grow their economy. But obviously, I'm sure the United States is incredibly worried about the Soviet Union and the German Reich's pack. So we'll see exactly what happens. Okay, all of our forts are being constructed. Somehow we have gained another 7 factories. Those weren't there a minute ago. And we are going to go ahead and begin working on... Ooh, the radio detection would be awesome. But then again, it's 1941, so this would be our best bet. Let's get excavate... let's get radio detection. I want to do everything at once, and I just don't have enough research. It actually makes you choose, which is the hardest part. But eventually, after all of our production of medium tanks, we now only have 65. Romania cedes Bessarabia to the Soviet Union, as I suspected, and they also got Bukovina. So Romania is going to get eaten away, and I'm willing to bet they're going to join the Allies. Well, I don't know. They're leaning towards fascism. So I am a little worried which way they're going to lean. Turkey will probably join the fascists as well. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping all of our troops inside the UK will eventually... Resistance to occupation. Where is this? Derna.
Attention.
So I'm eventually thinking that Turkey is going to join the Axis. You know what? I have no idea. But if we could somehow remove Spain, let's take a look at their economy. So right now they have only about 25 civilian factories, whereas we have 59. So our economy is literally double the strength of theirs, and they really only have about 26 military factories, whereas we have 72. So our economy is far superior than theirs. If we could somehow sneak in Northern Africa and the Baleares, and we could take all of nationalist Spain and I guess the Canary Islands away from them, they are going to get absolutely wrecked. And I could probably do some sort of naval invasion and try to secure these ports. And then all of the Spanish line is going to be moved on down. And we could try to do some sort of pincer formation. I don't know how well that'll work, but I think it could work better than a lot of other factors. Okay, my next priority is to also try to secure a lot more fighters. And I would like an excess of about 200. I have a lot of close air support. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. but I don't really see any issues. We are fighting down a lot of fighters. If I had radar dishes, it would be a heck of a lot easier to maintain. Our air doctrines have been researched, so now we have a 50% research bonus. I would like to go ahead. I don't need heavy bombers, naval bombers. Close air support would be nice. I guess we're going to go ahead and research that. We have nothing else to really begin doing. And I'm looking around the map, a lot of fighting. We're obviously kind of in the stalemate position where if we leave these forts, we're going to get absolutely annihilated. So I don't want that to happen. Let's stop exercising because I'm actually really worried that we're going to be attacked by Spain. All of our Marines are probably done exercising. And all of these units are done exercising as well. So there's no reason to really waste resources, at least in this point of time. And in fact, let's go ahead and take all of these units, bring them on over to this area. If I could somehow do it correctly. And we are also going to take about 2 units. One is going to go here, and the other one is going to go here. So this guy is going to go ahead and try to conquer this port, and this guy is going to go ahead and, I guess, I don't know, conquer that. It's obviously way harder than it needs to be, but let's go ahead and activate. Now, I realize I'm probably not going to get declared war upon for about a year or two. I just want my forces in the right area. But sadly enough, once our dockyards are done, we're eventually going to once again start producing a lot more medium tanks. And I think I'm going to have to go ahead and end this episode. So thank you all for joining me. Hope you all have an awesome day. I will see you in our next adventure.